Hey everybody, this is Rob Keens with 𝙂𝙊𝙇𝙀𝙍, and we're back with a very special guest. It is Matt Holliday, who's the President, Chief Operating Officer, and Director of Canada Silver Cobalt. Matt, how are you doing today? Well, wanted to have you back on. We're certainly impressed with your project that you have going on, and I know you guys issue news all the time, as is the case with the industry. We wanted to have you back on just to talk about what's been happening since the last time we chatted with you. So I think you guys have made some big announcements. I'll let you just tell us what's been going on.
Sure, great. Well, I'll start with the castle. Since we last talked, we've been hitting, these thousands of grams per ton silver at the castle, and we've been hitting it on a lot of our new structures. So it's really exciting that these new structures are really growing to something a little bit more sizable. We're getting ready for a resource update really soon. So just to have that news coming out is really nice. We did an annual summary recently, and it was actually shocking to write because we've done so much over the last year. We've been drilling, 35,000 meters at the castle. We've been hitting 30,000 grams per ton, hitting new veins, new everything at the castle. But it doesn't just end with the castle. We have our 𝙂𝙊𝙇𝙀 property up in Kirkland Lake. That's been expanding and growing. And very notably, we have the 𝙎𝙄𝙇𝙬 property in Quebec, where we've been hitting massive sulfides. And we've completed about 7,000 meters of drilling at 𝙎𝙄𝙬, where we hit sulfides in 22 out of 23 drill holes. So, we're really on the verge of a new camp there. And really, we have an excellent property package that we've kind of consolidated there. So there's been a lot of happenings. And then most recently, we've added a little filler in the 𝙂𝙊𝙇𝙀 property that we have near it used to be Kirkland Lake Gold. I know it is Kirkland Lake Gold because I used to work for Kirkland Lake Gold, but I recently purchased the 𝙂𝙍𝙀 mine. And so we're about 5 kilometers to the west, and we have this nice little property which has a big splay coming off of the Larder Lake Fault, which is called the 𝙂𝙂𝙀 Fault Splay. And it runs right through the property. So we picked up a little bit of new ground, and it just kind of fills out the middle. And it's really exciting because it's ground that has doubled the length of the 𝙂𝙂𝙀 fault. And we have this big alteration halo that is, really interesting for gold exploration. And it has also doubled our length on that alteration halo. Now, the alteration halo and the fault are not necessarily the exact same spot over the course of the property, but in this new acquisition, they overlap. So that's exciting too. I mean, the fact that you have a major alteration zone overlapping a major structural break, great. That's a really good piece. And not only that, but it fills in the center where we were missing a little bit of claims. So we're really, really, really happy about that.
Fantastic. So if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to put something up on the screen about your silver properties. And if you'll just kind of walk through, for people who may not be familiar or seeing you for the first time, where you guys are and talk through some of your properties as well. So let me throw this up here real quick. So we've got your PowerPoint up, and we're talking about some of these properties. Just kind of walk us through what you guys have found and what you're seeing.
Right. Oh, this is a great slide. So this is the cobalt embayment, is this large Huronian paleo basin. And we have our main property in this 𝙎𝙊𝙇𝙬 camp to the northwest. That's where our castle property is. Castle property is interesting because we have the castle mine, which is a historic mine, closed in 1989. And it was one of the last operating silver mines in the camp, very high grade. And then we have the Castle East, which is our discovery, where we're working on our current resource update. So that is basically about, for people who are familiar with Sudbury, it's about, 150 kilometers north of Sudbury. People who are familiar with Toronto, it's about 400 to 500 kilometers north of Toronto. And people who are familiar with the Kirkland Lake area, especially with what's been happening with Agnico and Kirkland Lake Gold, we're only about 80, 90 kilometers away from Kirkland Lake. And this camp is kind of sandwiched in between Kirkland Lake and Sudbury. So, it's a really it's a booming spot. We haven't had necessarily the silver mines booming right now, but we are in a prolific gold belt. We're in a really strong area for a lot of exploration, and we're not far from Timmins either. So basically a dirt road that goes.
Talk a little bit about what investors should be expecting from you guys, say the next quarter, if they're interested in getting involved with you. What kind of news do you guys expect to put out, and talk to us about what stage of company you are, your exploration, pre-development, that type of thing, and just let people know, what you're all about.
Well, I really do recommend people take a look at that press release that kind of summarized 2021, because we did so much. It was our busiest year was 2021. And I think 2022 is looking even busier. We're going to have a resource update coming out really shortly. We are getting ourselves ready to put a ramp down. So we really want to get to that Castle East where, we have an environmental baseline study, should be completed mid-year. We're doing the permittings right now. We're moving forward to getting that ramp developed. So we'd like to, show that we get some pre-ramp development, whether it's building a camp or anything like that, getting that footwork ready. Not only that, but I would really expect to hear some news coming from the Castle mine because we're not just this one deposit at Castle East. We do have that Castle mine, and now we've been really making that progress to start talking about Castle mine a little bit more. And we have a lot of exploration expertise now under our belt after drilling so much at Castle East that we're ready to explore that property a little bit broader. And, we want to bring it to a multi-deposit property. We like to see 3-4 mines developed at this property, and we're getting ready for the first one. So that's really, really exciting, and should be a lot of news generated over the next couple of months. One of the things that I think that is also very interesting is that, again, we do have all this massive sulfide. We have this process Re2Ox, which can produce these EV battery materials such as cobalt sulfate, nickel sulfate, copper sulfate, and now recently we've been working with rubidium, which is used for these sodium-ion batteries. We really are intent on getting this into a new vehicle and getting shareholder value through that new vehicle, getting a spin out and getting a share in a dividend or some structure similar to that to our current shareholders and showing the value of those properties because, we're really been exploring hard and we're ready to show the world the value of those other.
So that's a lot of good news. If you can just summarize for people what type of resource you have now and perhaps where you expect that to go. I know you can't maybe not give hard numbers, but what is the potential for growth for the properties that you have?
Yeah, great. So right now we had produced a resource in 2020. It's 7.5 million ounces at 250 ounce per ton, or 8,500 grams per ton. Where we're likely to go with that, that was one vein. That was the Robinson vein. We've been growing that vein. So we're really looking for a solid tripling to quintupling of that resource. And, it's kind of out of our hands now. We do have the third-party contractor that will be developing that resource. So hopefully, we're going to see those types of numbers coming out of that. And that's really... That's just the beginnings, really, because we are open in many directions, and there's a lot of resource updates to come in the future, and we would like to really see a lot of sizable mass come to that, and I would like to see resources being added in the future.
Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
Castle mine as well, and the ground in between. So yeah. Oh, I'm just saying that we have a lot of blue sky here because. The actual ground that we've explored, we've really focused at Castle East, and we have so much to explore in between the Castle and the Castle East.
Okay, great.
And
last question I want to ask before we wrap up. Gold reached an historic level yesterday. Third time it reached 1,900 in the U.S. terms. Very positive because I feel like we've broken out of an 18-month channel we've been trading in. If that bull market continues, which I think it will, due to all the risk in the economy that we see right now, that means silver is going to move as well. What would that do in terms of for your investors if we saw silver move next and maybe it gets 25, 26, maybe up to 30? Does that change the economics of your project in a rising silver price environment?
Well, absolutely. I mean, we're really high grade. So, the beauty about the project is that because we're so high grade, we're really not that susceptible to the small changes on the low end. But on the, as it grows, it just means that our profits just explode. The potential of profits at this point in time, right? But when we will be planning on getting a PEA out, and so we can probably see some sensitivity analysis on that in the future, and it would be really nice to see that if we do have those increases in silver price, it's just.
I agree with that. We're really excited about this one, Matt. Glad to have you back on. Thank you so much for joining us here on Gold Silver Pros.
Thank you very much, Rob.
Hey everybody, this is Robert. Thank you so much for watching that video content. I have a couple of quick announcements I'd like to share with you as we head out of this video. Also wanted to remind you, you can find us on goldsilverpros.com. We have a free newsletter. If you click here and enter your email address, we'll send that out every Monday to you, as well as we have special precious metals deals with leading bullion dealers here in the United States. If you click that button, you can go here and click on either Miles Franklin or ARC Silver and get the best deals in the business. Once again, thank you guys so much for joining us on the channel. Until next time, this has been Gold Silver Pros.